right, let's hear from Caitlin. She says, I know teachers should always focus on improvement and doing better, but how do you balance trying new things in a new semester and continuing to do what's working in the new one? So essentially, how do you try new things without giving up the stuff that's already working? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And I know it kind of depends on the philosophy of your campus leadership.
Yeah.
But some leaders love bright, shiny new things. And so they buy into all kinds of bright, shiny new things.
Right.
And some leaders have a different philosophy of staying the course, staying with the tried and true. I would venture to kind of suggest that you do more of what's working.
Yeah.
It's kind of a solution focused question. What works? Do more of that. And if you have to kind of incorporate new practices or new strategies or what have you, fold them in. But hesitate, like really protect your practice.
Yeah,
Be
I love that.
protective of your practice. Yeah, like don't throw out what works just because something's new.
Right.
Continue with what works for you, with what works for your students. And I would venture to say, what little I know is that the bright, shiny new things, if you look at them very carefully, you'll find ways that they can kind of intertwine with what you already know works. I mean, let's face it, there are no new wheels. There are no new wheels. Like a wheel is a wheel is a wheel, right? There are none. So again, so kind of like to sum it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it works, do more of it.
Absolutely.
And then there's a new initiative, just fold it in. Yep. Fold it in and be able to defend your rationale.
Definitely.
With
I think a lot about the evolution, right, of a teaching practice. So I have to admit there have been more times than I would like to admit that I've gotten frenzied in the classroom. You know, something wasn't going right. It seemed like there were 5 bad days in a row. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's all, nothing is going to work. I have to throw the whole thing out. I'm going to try something completely new. And I've done this, I've done this a few times and it never works. It's not, it never really is a good idea. And really what I needed to do was I needed to kind of take your advice and look at what's working and then see how to evolve that. So how do we take the core of that practice, the core of that strategy, the core of the way students are learning, and then modify it rather than just throw the whole thing out. When I think about wanting to completely start over with something, that's kind of summer work for me. That's not December work for me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? And two, you have to think about the fact that in teaching, again, our students are our partners.
Yep.
So when we change course, they have to change course too.
Definitely.
And so then we think about what changing course means. Some students may be more resilient than others.
Yes. Right. I think that, one of the patterns I keep hearing in this conversation is that when it comes to
the fact that
transition,
that our students are also there learning and evolving with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the patterns that I keep hearing in this conversation, that it's when it comes to reflection and transition, it's with students, not without them. Okay, so